pectoral girdle, and here the clavicle, and in the clavicle we have two ended. This is flat end and this is rounded end, and here this is the acromial end, and here the sternal end. Then we go to the scapula, and here in the scapula this is the anterior view. At number 1 is the superior border, at number 4 is superior angle, number 3 is the medial border, at number 5 is the inferior angle, and number 2 is the lateral border. Then we go to the posterior view, and in the posterior view we have supraspinous fossa, and we have infraspinous fossa, and then we go to number 8. This number 8 is the subscapular fossa, and number 9 here the spine, and number 10 here the coracoid process, and number 11 is the acromion process, and finally the number 12 is, and the last thing is that number 12 is the glenoid cavity. Part of the first one in the upper limb, this is the humerus, and here the proximal end, this is the shaft, and this is the distal end, and here the head of the humerus, this is the anatomical neck, this is the surgical neck, and this is the greater tubercle, lesser tubercle, between them intertubercle sulcus. Here the deltoid tuberosity. Go to the distal end, here the lateral epicondyle, here the medial epicondyle, here the capitulum, this is the trochlea. Superior to the trochlea we have the coronoid fossa. Let's go to the posterior surface, and here the olecranon fossa. And here in the ulna, this is the proximal end, and this is the shaft, and this is the distal end. In the posterior surface we have to know this is the olecranon process, and here in the anterior view we have to know this is the trochlear notch, and here the coronoid process, and here the radial notch, and here the interosseous crest, and in the distal end this is the head, and this is the styloid process. Radius, and here the proximal end, this is the shaft, and this is the distal end, and here is the head of the radius, this is the neck of the radius, and this is the radial tuberosity, and here the styloid process of the radius. The hip bone, and in the hip bone this is the lateral view, and here the ilium, here the ischium, this is the pubis, and here this is the acetabulum, and this is the obturator foramen. In the ilium this is the iliac crest, this is the anterior superior iliac spine, this is the anterior inferior iliac spine, this is the posterior superior iliac spine, this is the posterior inferior iliac spine, and here the greater sciatic notch, and here the lesser sciatic notch, and here the ischial spine, and this is the ischial tuberosity. Let's go to the medial view, and in the medial view this is the iliac fossa, and here the pubic tubercle, and this is the pubic tuberosity. Femur, and this is the posterior surface of the femur. This is the head of the femur, and this is the fovea capitis, and here the greater trochanter, this is the lesser trochanter, this is the intertrochanteric crest, and here the linea aspera, and here the medial condyle, here the medial epicondyle, this is the lateral condyle, this is the lateral epicondyle, and here intercondylar fossa. And the anterior surface of the femur, here the patellar surface. And in the tibia we have to know 5 things. This is the medial condyle, this is the lateral condyle, this is the tibial tuberosity, this is the anterior crest of the tibia, and this is the medial malleolus. Fibula, and in the fibula we have to know 2 things. This is the head of the fibula, and this is the lateral malleolus.